We're gonna try this a second time. Apparently, we had some lag on the first video. I can't control that. I think what happened, besides disconnecting the Bluetooth after I started the video, I also am currently uploading a review. So I think the phone doing two things at one time, maybe it got it mad. Although, I mean, I've done it before. I've done it before. This cigar is great construction. This cigar is a fantastic draw. The Warfighter Company, as best to my knowledge, unless something changed over the past few years, Warfighter is a private brand owned by a group of veterans, and they contract their cigars through Plasencia. Yeah. Now, here's the thing, Notorious. I know that they used to contract their cigars through Plasencia. And I'm going to add this caveat. I am assuming they still do. And this is why I'm saying I'm assuming. Because somebody I talked to recently told me that they don't work with Plasencia anymore. And here's the thing. I don't know if that's verified. I'm not calling that person a liar. I just can't verify. I can't. You're saying though, I know that when I was active on their, I know they're still making the same cigars, so I'm assuming that they're still working with Plasencia, right? I mean, that's the only thing I assume. Mhm. Now, that this extra 4 years of time on the original version, this cigar is phenomenal right now. It's so complex, it's so sweet, it's so nutty, it's very refined. The time on the cigar did it very well. Bearded Dad, these cigars with the time on it is fantastic. What's up, bro? It's nutty. Reminds me also like almost like hazelnut. Very creamy, slightly salty in the back end. Mm. I'm getting a very nice berry note as well. Sweet fruit, berry, nice berry note. So yeah, I'll tell you what. Um, I remember really loving this blend when it came out. This is their most expensive cigar. It's around $17. So it's not a cheap cigar, but it's not egregious, But it's all a matter of, is it worth it? And in my opinion, in my humble opinion, it is worth it. These cigars have great character. These cigars have a lot of flavor. Um, I can highly recommend the Warfighter best cigar. This is the Victory. This one is their most expensive extra years of time. So I can't say that if you buy a new version, if you don't let it sit for 4 years, will be the same. Better. I don't know. Rich cedar coming in, not a burnt, not a smoke out on the opus. This is more cedar. Um, yeah, it's a great blend. Initial impression to this cigar is it's very good. It is a very delicious cigar. I can highly recommend it. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's staying fresh. I hope everyone's staying hydrated. I hope everyone's eating prunes. You got to do it. You got to do it. What's up, Steve? How you doing? Uncle Larry's in the house. Notorious in the house. Big Firm in the house. God bless you all. Who passed away? Lisa Marie Presley. Wow. Elvis's daughter passed away. Sad. That's some sadness right there. That's some sad stuff. That is sad. That is very sad. That's sad. Ah, another heart attack. Heart attack. You know, 2022, the year of the heart attack. And I'm only assuming 2023 heart attack city, baby. At 54. I mean, that for a woman, that's really young. Yeah, and honestly, too, it's not like, let's be real notorious. Like, guys have heart attacks, but even 50, guy, unless he's a serious drinker, and just a slob. Well, maybe guys are having heart attacks. Definitely late 50s, 60s. Okay, it could happen, but like, you know what I'm saying though. Like, especially here's the thing too. Like in this day and age, with regular, I hate to use the word regular heart attacks, but I have like a 72-year-old friend back in New York, and he's had 17 stints. Like people with like heart problems and clogged arteries, like the heart doctors, they generally could, you know, they generally, if you get to the hospital, they could generally take care of it pretty quick. And this guy had 17 stints, 17 stints, and he's still ticking. He's still strapped. I know the guy. That being said, I don't know. I don't know. He's a tough dude. He's a tough dude. He's a Vietnam vet, two Purple Hearts, and then he was a New York City cop for like 12 years, and then he got out on a medical discharge from the NYPD from just getting banged up so much. He was a cop. He came from Vietnam, two Purple Hearts. Then he goes to the mean streets of Brooklyn, New York, in the 70s and 80s. Bro, he was a cop in Flatbush, Brooklyn, in the 70s and 80s for 12 years. You know, with the old Smith and Wesson 38 revolver, and you're gonna take a lot of pain. Being a cop back then was, man, wild times. And I don't know. I called Gio today too. No answer from Gio. Bro, Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn, East New York, in the 1970s and the 80s. Wow. It didn't come any more dangerous than that. Yeah. It didn't come any more dangerous than that. What a dangerous time. Imagine being a cop on Flatbush Avenue, East New York, in the 70s and 80s. Dangerous. It's a dangerous time. It is what it is. It is what it is. I hope everyone's staying fresh. Hope everyone's having a good time. I'm really enjoying this cigar. This was provided to us by our dear friend Bearded Dad. So huge shout out for that. This has 4 years of humidor time in his personal collection, and I think it only made this cigar even better. It's very delicious. It's very smooth. Rich coffee coming as well. I like the cigar, man. I like the cigar. Off the bat, for my rating scale system for 0 through 5, solid 4.4. It's that's a good rating. Yeah, you know, we've been smoking, a lot of crazy cigars the past, few weeks. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, Warfighter's a fantastic brand. I'll tell you what, Notorious, you would really like Notorious. Go straight for their 50 cal Garrison. Their 50 cal Garrison Maduro. It's a Maduro. It's such a fantastic cigar. Their Maduro cigars, these are Plasencia cigars. You would really like the 50 cal Garrison. And that one's even more affordable than this. It's a great cigar, but this is their most expensive stick. But the Garrison, I'm not sure the new prices, but they should be around $10, which is very reasonable. I'm getting a great burn on this. This is very delicious. No, but definitely check them out. And lots of times they're running specials on the channel, and 10% off this and that. So it's uh, it's a solid brand, and it's a good cause. The brand does donate a lot to veteran charities. So you know, shout out to Warfighter Tobacco. Over the past, I've smoked almost the whole lineup. Although their newer stuff I haven't had. I didn't try the dumpster fire, and I think they have another new one I haven't tried. But yeah, it's just a cool story because those guys that started the company, I believe they were friends and friends from the service. And then I believe they actually owned a gun shop in Nebraska, if I remember that correctly. And then they decided to move to Texas, which was more tobacco friendly with taxes. So that's what it was. Because believe it or not, Nebraska, when I went to Nebraska to a lounge, when I drove through Colorado, their taxes were high. The prices for cigars in Nebraska were not cheap. They were not cheap. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So if you're here, you're in the cigar lounge. So we're gonna have a new member coming to the channel. I just verified him. Um, I was making a review before my deck, and this guy came behind me, and he had like a pizza in his hand. And I'm like, nah, I thought he was a delivery guy. I said, nah, I didn't order pizza, man. And he's like, no, 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 no. He goes, I'm your neighbor. And then I was thinking, oh, great. Is he complaining because I'm smoking a cigar outside? And he goes, no, no, no. He goes, I'm always passing by while you're making, your live videos. And he goes, I'd love to hang out on your live streams. I said, oh, really? I said, oh, what apartment do you live in? So, okay. So I start talking about this and that. And it turns out he designed stuff for Ford for the app. Ford uses like an Android app. So he's a designer, smart guy, smart guy. This guy had to go to college. Okay, so he's I guess a software engineer, um, but cool guy, and he wants to hang out on the channel, and maybe I'll. He's like, yeah, I want to be your friend. He was a nice guy. He's like, yeah, I want to be your friend. Like, yeah, but I was like, bro, we're friends. It's like we're friends, bro. That's it. He picked up an MX2 from the sale bin. The shop owner practically forced me to buy a Warp cigar. Never had them. Out of Miami. Okay. Well, I never heard of the Warped out of Miami. I mean, Warped cigar, I believe, is Nicaraguan. But I don't know. For all I know, what does Richie know? I mean, 3,000 in Atlanta. Are you staying fresh, my friend? Stay fresh. Yeah, she died. Notorious confirmed it. Notorious said that the daughter of Elvis has passed. And that's quite sad. Listen, guys, Oh, gotcha. All right. Here's the thing, guys. Since when did all these people just drop dead of cardiac arrest? Like, it used to be a thing of people having a heart attack and they go to the hospital, they get on the right medication, or maybe they have a surgery. You know what I'm saying, though? Like, my grandma lived to 92, and my grandmother, around like 85, had a pacemaker. Like, that's what happened. You have heart trouble, they give you this thing, and she made it to 92. Was it all these people, 20, 30, 40 year olds, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like. I'm not trying to make fun of it, but I mean, how can no one think that this is a new pattern? But this is the new pattern, the all new normal. Yeah, exactly, bro. It's no one's talking about it. Yeah, this is just what happens. Yeah, yeah. Everyone has a heart attack. You get a heart attack. You get a heart attack. You get a heart attack. I was watching a video, this doctor from England talking about, okay, like England, right, is a massive country, right? And so they have these statistics on like monthly death rates. And I believe they said there's a whole new statistic from the normal death rates for they expect in a whole country. And I think they said there's like 1,000 new deaths every month that they didn't plan on. That's a lot of people. 1,000 people could be the size of a small little town. So England all of a sudden is having 1,000 new deaths a month. That's a lot on top of the normal rate. I'm talking about the normal amount of car accidents, suicides, drug overdose, homicide, all those things added up, right? And then that what natural death causes, okay, because you're old, right? Or you got really sick from cancer. But on top of that, there's unquestioned 1,000 more a month. And they're like, well, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, they got it. They got it. They got the ouchie. They got it. And of course, you know exactly what I'm leaning to. But we got to be careful because people looking to shut down Richie. You're looking to shut me down. You're looking to shut the Richie. Strength right there is a heavy medium plus. I got a feeling it's going to pick up the medium full. And this is a fantastic cigar. So I can't stress it enough. If you're looking to try something different and try some new blends, try the Warfighter brand. I would recommend, because they have a, right, I think a field line and a garrison line. I like the garrison line better. I like the garrison line better. Yo, what's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
How you feeling? You staying fresh?
Always.
That's it, man. We got to make sure we don't get that ouchie heart attack. I mean, bro. I mean, it's like it's so common now, right? And even like what people don't mostly don't pay attention to regular people, but even like celebrities and sports people and news people. Like there's this video I can send you later. It's just like they showed all the live newscasters just like dropping of heart attacks, and it's like, oh yeah, because that always used to happen, right? That always used to happen, you know. People just dropping, just dropping on live TV. I don't remember that happening. Do you?
No, it's fucked up, man. I mean, there's
Well,
healthy people just dropping with heart attacks.
what's worse, Jeremy, than it's happening? Know what's worse than it's happening? The fact that no one's talking about it. That's the real sin.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying, though?
yeah.
Like if a building's on fire, okay, those things happen. But if no one calls 911 and calls the fire department, that's a sin because now it could burn the whole town down. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Like
There,
everyone's like,
there's
oh,
there's plenty of news stories out there that don't get reported on by mainstream media,
but even
which
when
is
they do report,
unfortunate.
it's like, oh, for unknown reasons. Well, I grew up at a time, unless if you were really old or was an accident or murder, people don't just die. Like, okay, I can
Right.
understand if you had AIDS or you were dying of cancer, then you're going to die. But people that are just going to work don't just die, unless it was a car accident or a homicide, right? So, or you fell down the steps, a freak accident. people generally live to older age, especially we have clean drinking water, uh, eating some type of vitamins and minerals, and eating fruits. Hopefully, same people make it at least to their 60s and 70s, generally speaking, maybe more, give or take. But all of a sudden, people 20, 30-year olds are just like, 12-year olds. I can send you this video. There's a 12-year-old. He died in choir practice. I don't know about oh sola fa la so. I don't know. I didn't sing in the choir, but when they're practicing "The Hills Are Alive," who dies singing Ave Maria?
Yeah. Don't
And,
make
and,
much sense.
and they had this whole thing, and they had like this another one. This kid like dirt bikes, and they had all these people on dirt bikes for the funeral. Oh, rest in peace, man. He was 12 years old. Well, how does a 12-year-old die? Heart attack? How?
Yeah.
I didn't have one friend die when I was a kid from heart attack. Like 12 years old. And dude, we did stupid stuff as kids, man. And in gym class, you're running miles and doing
Oh
push-ups,
yeah.
monkey bars, and playing in the woods, and you know, hitting each other with BB guns with heavy jackets on, like stupid stuff. No one died. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to die. Like
Kids are
especially
soft these days.
is that what it is though? You think it's just these young video game era? It's like these kids are just, dude. I'm telling you, man. Like for anyone that's, and then this is just a new phenomenon the past 2 years. I mean, and no one's talking about it. It's like, man. And if you
Yeah.
do talk about it, you're a conspiracist.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, to them, the more important news story is what Caitlyn Jenner's doing, or
Ah,
one of his kids, or
did
sorry,
you?
her kids, whatever.
I'm gonna name. We'll call the company Trizer. You know who I'm talking about? Trizer. Uh,
I don't think
company.
I've heard of it.
The company I'm gonna change the name. They make those things for the sauce.
Oh yeah, okay.
So we'll call them Trizer because if I use their real name and talk bad, they'll probably come and get Richie right now. So this company Trizer was talking about. Well, good news. They have a new ouchie that will stop the heart attacks that they got from the. So now they have another shot to prevent the heart attack from the shot. Good news.
So they're acknowledging that the shot's causing heart attacks.
Oh, saying, well, this, because of the disease, it's caused. They're blaming the disease for the heart attacks.
Ah,
So they got it. They caused the problem, and then now you could get another shot, dude. And people will buy it all day long. There you go.
yeah,
You took 4 or
yeah,
5 shots. Get another one. Get.
yeah,
It's like DJ Khaled. Another one. Another one.
yeah. I will admit I got the first dose for my work, because a lot of people were getting fired at one point. But yeah, I'm regretful that I got it. Unfortunately, I'm not getting another one, and I sure as hell aren't getting it. I'm not getting another shot for whatever. No,
Dude, because
I
first
didn't
off,
want the I didn't want the first one.
no, I knew a lot of guys in the situation that, look, you're a provider for your family, and they put
Yeah,
people, they scared people. If you don't get it, you're going to lose your job.
so
They
a lot of people did, but well, you see what they did in New York, right? The Supreme Court in New York ruled that anybody that got fired had to be rehired and back paid.
Yeah, but think about it, the damage is done. Enough people already took the shot. You know what I'm saying? No,
Right, right.
and the damage is done because it ruined families. Like when my grandmother died, my family, and not my father per se, but my father called me saying, "Oh, the family doesn't want you to come to the funeral." I said, "Why?" "Oh, because you're flying in from Colorado and you didn't take the ouchie." And I said, "Well, I'm not taking that shit." What? I said, if it works, why do I need to take it if you took it? They lie to people. Say, this is the first time I ever heard this. You're doing it to protect others. Well, if you took it, why do I need to take it? Jeremy, if you eat, does it matter if I'm starving? Are you still going to be full? Why do I got to eat to affect your stomach? It doesn't make any
Right,
sense, right?
right.
So if you took it and you believe in it, why do I got to? It's like you talk about, we'll talk about religion. It's like if you believe in something, you need me to believe in it to protect you. You believe what you want to do, but it was at the threat of, well, or you lose your job. Now that is the greatest strong arm in history. Not even the mafia. The mafia will come to your business to be like, your windows might break tonight if you don't pay the insurance. You're like, what insurance? But at least they only break a window. I mean, um, astronomical, man, astronomical. No, I refused it. They talked about trying to fire me, but I got the religious exemption, and I was able to get a religious exemption from a priest where he proved that the research studies for some of those things, they had to use kidneys and retinas from aborted fetal cells, and therefore they said in the Bible it's sacrilegious, and then also why would someone have to die so I have to live? No,
Yeah.
so I got around it. You know what I'm saying though, but they harassed me every twice a week. I had to stick the thing on my nose to test out. Meanwhile, I never got sick, but the people that took it were sick all the time, and they didn't have to test. And I said, "You got people that took it, and they're all sick." Oh, but they're less sick. They told me they're less sick. Doesn't make any sense. Like you don't wear jimmies because you get like half AIDS. Either get AIDS or you don't. You wouldn't.
Right.
Oh, I got AIDS light. I'm less sick. You know,
Yeah.
I'm less.
Yeah, at first they're like, "Oh, it'll help you, it'll, build immunity." And then, "Oh, well, it'll just keep you less sick, you won't get as sick." And then it's, "Oh, well, you got to keep taking these other shots so you won't keep getting as sick."
Well, there's a new variant. Know what they did? They watched what they did with video games. Like Call of Duty. It used to be you just buy the game, but now you buy
Right. Yeah.
gotta buy upgrades. Oh, you want the
All games are like that now. All of
yeah.
them.
Well, now medicine's like that too. You need the new variant. You need the new, and every commercial on TV now is for all these pills. That way, so you don't get AIDS. So, like, if you already have AIDS, it doesn't work. But if you take this pill, you might not get AIDS. It's like, okay, well, why don't you just test your partners before you put it in, and why don't you wear jimmies and not have like 10 partners a day? I don't know, like and
Yeah.
but in the commercial, it was just a bunch of people just like looking at each other on the train, and then they're like nodding their head like this, and basically it's letting you know like they're just banging strangers, and it was a lot of 451, And have you seen these commercials for prep? It's called prep.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, basically it's like a pre-AIDS medicine. So like at that point,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yes, yes. I have seen that. Yes.
yeah, it's like an AIDS vitamin. It's like a Flintstones
Yeah.
AIDS. I'm saying though, it's like it's got vitamin
Yeah.
C, it's got minerals, and I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like here's the thing: before you get hired for a job, did
I
your
know
back?
of a better. I know of a better cure.
Yeah, but I mean, people do background checks before you get hired. If you're gonna work for Uber, they do a background check. Why can't you just do a blood test before you go home with someone? I mean, you could do it in one day. Like you just gotta stick it in raw, and say, "Oh, I can't wait to get some of this." You know what I'm saying? No. Yeah, what could go wrong? I don't know. You want pizza? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that cigar doing? It sounded really good when you started describing it earlier.
Dude, really nice, man. This was already a good cigar to begin with. This is a boutique brand in a sense because these are a smaller company, right? But like self-started company, but they contract their cigars to Plasencia. Now, as far as
Okay.
now, only one person told me on Facebook, "Oh no, they don't do Plasencia anymore," but he couldn't tell me who they're working with. But they're still making the same cigars, so I'm thinking they're still Plasencia because how could they switch contracts? Let's say they went to Oliva. Oliva wouldn't make the same exact name because how could they match the blend? They'd have to make a new name. You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I was just gonna say I don't think you'll get the same cigar if you switch it up like that.
yeah, yeah. So I'm pretty sure they're still Plasencia, and I can't see why they would leave Plasencia because apparently Plasencia is really good for companies to start off. Like, let's say you just said, I want 10,000 cigars, which is not a lot, right? Placencia will work with anyone from any size because they're such a big company, um, and they have that much tobacco, so they could make anything you want. Um, uh, so, anyways, that's the thing with Placencia. But
Hmm.
I've never had a Placencia cigar that was bad. There's all different levels of Placencia too. But
Yeah.
it's a very reliable brand. You know what I'm saying? No, like Placencia and Oliva to me are both reliable brands that make some really good stuff. Um, of course, we get to the levels of like Padron and Davidoff and Fuente, but those like the kings of of the universe. Um, but there's a lot of other good stuff out there, and it's very reasonably priced. I think their regular sticks are around $10 a cigar, which is very reasonable. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
what are you smoking?
I tonight. So well, earlier I decided to, Sacco graced me with some sticks, several weeks back. So I tried the other two. I had not tried the Connecticut Shade. Now I will say I'm not a big Connecticut Shade fan. That's no disrespect to Sacco. I already told him, it was a great cigar as far as construction, draw, burn, no problem there. And honestly, it was a good cigar. But for me, Connecticut Shade don't
You know,
normally hit my palate right. I like a little darker, a little strong.
okay, yeah. I mean, Connecticut's not for everyone.
Yeah.
You spoke that one today, though.
Well, yep. So I smoked that earlier when I got done working. Then I had one of those 888 Añejos, so stronger cigar. So I followed the Connecticut Shade up with a strong one, and now I
I,
went back to a mild cigar. So this is actually my third cigar tonight.
you're rocking it out, man.
Yeah, normally I don't smoke three, but I went light, strong, light. So this
Yeah,
is the Casa Cuba from Fuente. Very it's a nice mid range cigar. I think you could find. I found this one for well, I mean, I got a box, but they were like $11 a piece. Not
right.
too bad. This is
And
the double dose size, so it's a skinny ring gauge. I don't know. It might be like a 42 or something. Maybe 6.5 inches long.
that's
This is one of my favorite sizes in the Casa Cuba.
interesting.
It's a nice. Have you ever smoked you've had the Casa Cuba, right?
I think I gotta try it again. I think I've only had it one time. I think I really only had it one time, and I can't say I really enjoyed it. But I don't remember the whole situation. Did you ever have like experience? And I was at a lounge, and it might have
Yeah.
been like I already smoked a cigar, and I think I was watching a football game, and you're eating like wings. I think it might have been like a Super Bowl event, and you know what I'm saying? That's not a good combination to really, you know, uh, try a cigar out. You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
So I think I need to try it
Yeah.
again.
It's I'll be honest. For 11 10 11 bucks, whatever you might be able to find the smaller sizes for $10. It's not it's a Fuente, so it's not overly strong. I would say it's a heavy light to a medium. You know what I mean? Like it's maybe not quite a full medium. It's a little lighter, but it's a good stick.
I'd have to try it again. I'd have to try it again. Give it
It's
my.
not overly complex. I'll be honest. It's not overly complex.
I
I
remember
think the
not being sweet. Is that still true?
it's got this has some sweetness to it a little bit. Yeah, it's got like a woody Fuente sweetness to it.
I'd have
Not
to.
as much as say like a Hemingway or anything like that.
I'd have to give it another shot. You know what I'm saying? No, because with
Though.
any cigar, if you have it only one time, I think, and if you have it with other cigars, it's not a good way to try it out.
Yeah, yeah. This was the Casa Cuba was Carlos Senior's last blend before he passed away.
Oh, watch out. Board Talk said he's not a Fuente fan, but he likes Casa Cuba. He's not a Fuente fan. You're at the wrong channel, man. This-
Not a
might as
big Fuente
well look at
fan, but Casa Cuba is underrated. Yeah, I agree. It is underrated. A lot of people don't really either know about it or they just figure, or they don't know it's Fuente or they just don't try it. For a mid range cigar, it's pretty damn good.
and it doesn't say Fuente on the band.
No, it just says Casa Cuba Florfina. Um, it, you know, I don't know
Right.
if you can see that. It doesn't really have nothing special on the
It,
back. It
it's
says
not,
Santiago.
it doesn't
What's
say
that?
it doesn't say Fuente on it at all. That's what I remember. Yep.
No, no, it doesn't. It
Big
doesn't.
firm. It's a pre-AIDS pills on the bottom DVD. He said,
Yeah, yeah, they're very affordable firm. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think the normal like these have an Ecuador wrapper on them. There is one other size that they make called the Divine Inspiration, which I have. That's all undisclosed. They don't say what's in it or what type of wrapper it has. It's definitely lighter looking than the normal Casa Cubas, and I
that's
find it to be a little sweeter. So
I'm gonna have to try that one. I'm gonna have to
yeah,
give it.
Divine Inspiration is it's for mild to maybe touching medium cigar. It's really
Isn't
good.
that the blend that he had in a dream? Like the blend came to him in a dream. That's why they call it that divine inspiration.
That I don't know for sure, but I do know that was the last one that he did.
Interesting. Quite interesting.
Yep.
So I got some bad news, bro. I got bad news. I got really bad news. Are you
What?
ready?
Yeah, hit me.
I'm all out of Opus X. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was balling, man. Dude, honestly, like that was such a great time in my life smoking Opus X for like 10 days straight, man. My mind is blown on Opus X. So you know what I'm saying though? Like um
Yeah,
it was such a great time, man. I can't thank you enough, man. I mean, that was a
yeah,
monster. Like
yeah,
I know I've already thanked you 100 times, but it was very generous. It was just a very kind gesture, man. And so I know obviously the channel must mean a lot to you for you to do that because that's
yeah.
we're all regular guys here, and money doesn't grow on trees, so um,
No, you're more than welcome, brother.
it was so great putting out that info out there. And each was it's so interesting though that each opus was, it had some core line similarities, but each one was a different take, and but all of them were godlike. You know what I'm saying? Like none of them were like, eh. Some I might like more than other, but I
Sure.
loved
Yeah,
them all, and then some I just loved them more. Um, and to have them all in a row like that, it just proves that like they're not bullshit. I can't stress it enough.
yeah.
Like I can't stress it. I can understand if people don't like Opus because it doesn't hit them right. Okay, that's their preference. But to
Hmm.
say that it's not one of the most premier brands, because Opus is a brand, and it's not just a blend. Uh, the Opus brand, dude, Fuente could just separate Opus X and make it its own company. And you know what I'm saying? They can make an Opus X store. If they made an Opus X store, it'd be the best cigar lounge in the world. Like just
Yeah.
Opus. Like imagine you go into a store and all they had was Opus X. No limit. No limit.
You ever seen the movie Clerks?
Like 10 minutes of it, not that much.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Well, what
There was a reference I was gonna make. Never mind though. But yeah,
about?
I would just walk into that shop and probably fall to my knees and you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I kind of know you going there. Yeah, that would be amazing. Can you imagine the foot smell? Imagine the smell of that place, all that sweet syrup foot smell, It would be something. The new warped upper room is a hitter. The Opus X is not fair. Excellent line. Oh yeah, Opus X is ridiculous. It's I feel Opus X is what all brands would want to be, because it's not just there are other great cigars, but Opus X is one of the greatest. But the following, right? Like, and I don't want to call it fanboy. Like, there's a reason why it has such a devout following. Um,
That's what I was gonna say. If it don't hit you right, I get it, but you can't tell me that all the other guys that are flying across the country to get them or have in the past are full of shit. The
or,
impact and
or
the
been
it's a
around,
great fucking cigar.
bro. It has so much character, and when you're smoking it, like the smoke, man, when you're holding the smoke on that, and bro, every night when I went to sleep on those cigars, man, they rock my world, bro. They rock my world, bro. Although last night I smoked I think last night I smoked two cigars, right? Maybe I did a review. Did I?
Now, you
And
smoked the shark last night, right? Oh, well,
I,
you're talking a review. Okay, yeah,
but I think I posted the review of the
Roma
saber.
Craft. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And dude, I had such crazy dreams, and I almost don't even want to say the dream I had last night. I almost. All right, do you want me to tell you?
If it involves me, I don't want to hear it.
No. So my girlfriend has like this little chihuahua, right? It's a pain in the ass. But in this dream last night, and it was such a vivid dream, I was, you know what, with some woman, but it wasn't my girlfriend. And she had tremendous, you know what, but she was holding my girlfriend's dog and whatever was going on. And then I'm doing this, I'm doing that, whatever. And all of a sudden, while I'm doing this and that, the dog jumped out of her arms and it bit me down there. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I woke up and I'm like, son of a bitch, Opus X. You know what I'm saying? Like that shark hit me so hard. Like afterwards, you know what I'm saying though? That like and I told my girlfriend I woke up, she's like, "How fucked up are you?" I'm like, "No, I was like, I don't know what your dog is biting me. Why is he biting me there?" Like you know, it just it's just what a crazy dream, man.
Yeah,
Just
that shark is yeah, that's a great cigar. When it picks up though, about halfway when you said it picked up, I was waiting for you to get to that because that it's
but
already awesome, godlike. But when it picks up, it's even.
you hold so much of the smoke on the opus that it hits you harder later because you're
Yeah.
absorbing so much of the nicotine. You know what I'm saying though?
Mm,
Most
mhm,
cigars you puff and you release. The Opus
mhm.
X, all those different ones, that's the most I've ever held the smoke. You know what I'm saying? So afterwards, it hits you hard. If you hold the smoke almost in every puff and hold it 10 seconds and then you release it, afterwards it's gonna hit. You know what I'm talking about? It hits you a lot harder.
Yeah.
So man, I call like the Opus smile. There's a level of just this is the Opus look. Ready? And I'm holding the smoke. But they earned that shit, man. You're talking about Fuente was in business almost 100 years before they made that blend. You can't just be a new company and all of a sudden make Opus X. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very complex. I mean, that's the thing. You smoke them, and you think you always know what you're in for, but there's always surprises. Always, you'll get a note, and you'll be like, "What the fuck was that?" And
Yeah,
it's very complex.
yeah. He has some late hour David off. Yeah, those are good. The late hour David offs are good. You know, but at the end of the day, after reviewing so much Opus, and before that, remember I was able to find Opus at the store. So
Yeah,
I think I smoked about like what 7 or 8 Opuses. I smoked 3 Opuses in one day, and then one the next day. So I
yeah.
smoked Opuses in 2 days, and then I went back again. So I think I smoked between those like 9 Opuses you sent me. Combined, I think I might have smoked like 15 Opuses combined
I
in
was
like
gonna say you probably smoked almost a box because you had power. You had the Power Rangers. You had the 888. Yeah, and then you had those that I sent. Yeah, you had a lot.
bro. I'm not joking. 15 Opuses in like 2 weeks, bro. Bro,
Yeah,
I blew my mind out in Opus. Like,
yeah.
um, like somebody said before, you had a good run. It was a great run, man. It was,
You'll have
oh,
another one, I'm sure. It might be nice to give your palate a little bit of a break, though. Give it a little
uh,
bit of a break.
unless I'm ultra rich, I can't do that, all the time. You know what I'm saying? Though, even buying them myself, like I would, but the lounge, I guarantee when I go back, he's going to be sold out. And his Opuses, bro, were only 15, $16. That was cheap. That was cheap. $15 Opuses, you wouldn't pay that for a Power Ranger.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Good
what's crazy?
price.
Big Firm said he was finding Opus X Coronas, small one, the regular, for $12 in Tampa. He said he bought one and there was no limit. And I
There
said,
you
"What do
go.
you mean you only bought one?" And he said, "Well, I was buying other cigars too." I said, "You should have put them back." And then he said he came back, like, I don't know, the next day, whenever he came back, all
If it were
sold out.
me, I would have closed the lid on the box, grabbed the box, put it under my arm, and went to the counter.
Yeah, you put the crime scene tape over it. It's
Yeah,
just done. But bro, I mean, $12 Opus X, even the Corona size, that is a steal,
yeah.
bro. That is dude. At that point, for what, $10 for 10, 100, you got $240 for a box. Yeah, I would have bought that all
Well,
day.
it depends. Some of the opuses, depending the sizes, like some of them got like 42 in a box, 30 or not 30, not 30 something, 32, 35. It depends what size. Like those Power Rangers, they come in a huge box, and I'm almost positive there's like 30 or 40 in a box.
Interesting. He says, I will be definitely not smoking with you all tomorrow, 19 degrees. Yeah, it's cold, bro, bearded dad.
Yeah.
Where do you
I'm in
get?
my porch outside, but I got a heater on my feet.
Notorious said, yeah, you got to stay warm, man. Notorious said he got a box for 307. What shipped? What box, Notorious? What are you talking about?
I think he bought some Lost City.
Really? Wait, hold on. Am I reading that right? Let me see here.
Hmm.
We all got to have an Opus X party one day, he said. Oh, he
Notorious. That's
got
a
me.
good. That's a good price. You definitely pay more in a lounge. I,
Oh,
I actually was in a lounge today and saw them for $40 a piece in the
yeah.
Toro size.
So how
So
many, how many are in a box?
10. So you got each cigar for about $30 a pop.
You know,
29,
that's not
99.
that's not bad at all.
No, no.
And having that, even if you have yeah, even if you pull it out once or twice a month, you'd be good almost for the whole year. You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, not a whole year. If you have one a month, you're good for about a year. Whatever it is, man, you enjoy it, man. It's look, I can spend $30 on a scratch off, and lose it. Alfonso, he's talking about the Alfonso Production Limitada. Uh,
Better than the Atabay. Ooh,
I don't know, but he's coming in pretty strong. Board talk. I don't know. I don't know about that. I never had that. I think Alfonso is
I've
the.
never heard of him. No.
Well, I think Alfonso is the. Isn't Alfonso the guy? That's his name, the guy that designed the Atabase. So maybe he's talking about it's a different one. No. Yeah, it's gonna be. Oh, he's gonna save the cigars. He said. Close the lid on the box of Anejos. That's not bad. $20 a cigar for
Yeah,
Anejos.
for the 60s, that's a pretty big size.
What size is that? The number 60.
The shop I was just in had some too. I want to say they're, what are they? Steve, is it Steven that got those? Yeah, what are they, like maybe 6.5. I want to say they're bigger than a 52 ring gauge too. They're pretty big. They're at least a 50 if they're not bigger than a 50.
So almost like what was that Corona Gorda size they had, something like that, or
And maybe not quite a Corona Gorda, maybe like a Toro. I'd say they're like a Toro.
it's gonna be a good time, man. Nails are great. Yeah, Nelson Alfonso is the guy that I believe the guy that designed the um, Atabay, but I think the company's called Select Tobacco. I think, right? I don't think so. In that case, if you don't like lighter shade, I don't think you're gonna like the Atabay.
I've actually smoked one Atabay before, and I actually liked it. I will say I liked it.
Oh, interesting. Now, what about the
The
Bandoleros?
Byron,
No,
which one?
the Bandoleros you like. Those are strong and
Oh,
dark,
never had them.
and those ones are cheaper. They're like half the price. You can get it for like $15.
Hmm.
You're gonna like the Bandoleros, bro. The Bandoleros are literally firecracker. One of them's called the firecracker. Those things are strong. Like they're not playing
Mm-hmm.
around. Like, and it's not like strong just without being a good cigar. Like it's a great dark sweet cigar, but like it's full strength. You're like, holy shit! Like I remember smoking that. You're like, and it was so spicy. And I was just like, the kind of thing that you're like, it's like almost like all of a sudden if you were locked in a room with Mr. T in the 1980s, you're like, shit, like, like it's intimidating. The Bandoleros, man, I
I'll have
have
to look for those.
you really need to try them out, and they're affordable for what it is. They're under $20.
Yeah. Steven says, oh, the Eneos he has were 6 1/8 by 48. So yeah, like a Toro.
Yeah, like a light Toro, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I would rather have that because with the
Yeah.
Neho, I'd rather have the skinnier gauge. You get more power.
Yep.
Believe it
Those
or not,
those Toros, the notorious, the Lost City Toro are a 48 ring gauge. I'm almost positive. I think they're
yeah,
48, but they're a little over 6.5 though. They're long. They're almost 7 inches, but
I
I
don't.
believe they're 48 gauge.
But 48's perfect. I'd rather
Yeah,
have
I like
48.
a 48. Yeah.
I'd rather have 48 than 50.
Hmm.
Especially with those cigars, you get more power out of it. Um, how are those God of Fires? They're fantastic, though. I have the Don Carlos one. So today, today you're getting double Richie. So the video just uploaded of the Don Carlos, and that's the good baseline. So then tomorrow I'm gonna do, or maybe tomorrow, maybe the weekend, I'm gonna do the Don Carlos. What's it called, Reserva?
Personal reserve. Yeah. Personal reserve. Yeah, that's a good one.
JRLM. What's up, Brooklyn in the house? JRLM, how's your balls? Yeah, bro. How much stronger is that? Would you say?
It's stronger. I think it's spicier. You'll find out. I mean, I want you to make your own impressions. I think it's definitely a little stronger, a little spicier, though.
Oh no, yeah, I'm definitely gonna make one. But I just want to
Yeah.
know your.
Like I said, it is. It's very close to the normal Don Carlos Robusto that you just smoked, but it's just a little. Someone just turn the knob just a little bit on it. You know what I mean?
I have to do that one next because those ones are the most comparable. Because then
Yeah.
after that, and let's forget about this shark because that's a whole nother size. Between that, we have the God of Fire, the 2017 The Man. Now, I've had The Man before, and that was delicious, but The Man's not really a strong cigar,
No,
right?
not really. Not really. No, it's got a
But
Dominican wrapper on it.
but it's really delicious, The Man.
Oh,
And I'm gonna say right now, The Man's better than the regular Don Carlos. Would you agree?
yeah,
Like it's just another level. It's like it's just what I'm saying. No,
yeah, yeah,
it's almost like a more expensive version.
right.
More age, maybe even better tobacco. But the Don Carlos, I said it's such an underrated Fuente because people take it for granted because it's always available,
Yeah,
and people always want Anejos or Opus X. I get it, or even Hemingway work of art Maduros. Those ones, or in between the lines, those ones people. Not to say it's Opus level demand, but when work of art Maduros come in or signature Maduros, right? People love those. Those ones go fast.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
They're hard. The Maduros are hard to find.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Unless I mean, granted, I was still a little too young, but before '95. I mean, I was in high school then, but I at least know the history pretty much. Before '95, Don Carlos was the cigar you couldn't find. Don Carlos was Fuente's top of the line.
Right.
That was the hard to find cigar. And now, since Opus is around, Don Carlos is more, accessible. A lot of places usually have it.
In that movie, it's called the Firm, and not the Big Firm. It's called the Firm. It's with Tom Cruise, and in
Yeah,
this movie, he's a lawyer, and he's hanging out with these guys at this big party, and he just joins the. It's almost like the Illuminati. Joins the club. He didn't realize that this firm is really corrupt in the beginning. Anyways, so he's at this party, and they go, "Hey, have a cigar. It's our best cigar of the house." And it was a Fuente, and I'm pretty sure it was either Don Carlos or some. You know what I'm saying? No, it looked like a Don Carlos, but I'm not sure what year. Hold on, Geo. Hold on. Is this the real Geo?
yeah, I would say so.
Hold on, Geo. What do you want me to say, Geo? We've been here for an hour. Where have you been? Where have you been, my friend? And I use that term loosely. And you could take that to the bank and bounce it twice. I don't know, Gio, if you have credit here, Gio. I love you, Gio, but what's going on? We got to have a sit down, Gio. Where have you been, Gio? Where have you been? Where have you been? I called you before, Gio. You didn't answer. Sacco's coming in too. Bam, bam,
Yeah,
bam. Saint Sacco. You see that? Sacco's putting in the work. Gio, what happened, Gio? This is an intervention. Gio, sit down. He said, he said, now what a big firm said before. The Bandolero Blue Label I smoked was the first time. It reminded me a lot of the Fuentaneo. Very enjoyable. Yeah, Bandoleros, bro. I really think, guys, I'm trying to turn them on to Bandoleros. If you like strong sticks and it's Atabay quality, but even less expensive, I can't recommend Bandoleros enough.
Sub asked about how are those Gata fires? Gata fires are great. I mean, Gata fires are one of those Fuente cigars that are also hard to find. They're just like Opus. I mean, they're usually only released once or twice a year. Prometheus releases those for Fuente, like they do some of the other Opus, but they're all aged. I believe they have 3 years of age on them once they roll them before they even, or at least the tobacco does before they, do anything with it. So,
Would you
very
say,
good.
but how many different God of Fires are there? Because this
There's
Don,
different ones. Yeah, so
right?
you have Gotta Fire by Carlito, which that's going to be your more typical Fuente, woody, sweet, spicy, a little bit of pepper, I would say more your typical Fuente, like, flavors.
But
Gotta Fire Don Carlos so that's your second one. By Don Carlos, so that's a take on the Don Carlos. It has an Ecuador wrapper. It's a lot different. Um,
okay.
I'll be honest, I don't prefer. It's a great cigar. It's a fucking got a fire. But as far as flavor and hitting my palate, it's probably one of my lesser favorite Don Carlos. I would say
Oh,
that's
because
just me though.
it's not too strong.
No, it's got some strength on it. It does. It's like I said, it's got the Ecuador wrapper. It's definitely more earthy. Yeah.
I'm gonna be excited to try it because I'm gonna hold a lot of smoke. Did you see the construction of that Don Carlos? Did you see those videos I sent? Now
Hmm.
that's it. I added those clips in the beginning. I front loaded that video just with like 3 minutes of just, and I literally said, I'm flexing on these haters, and I'm going, touch up, touch up, touch up.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
I watched it.
oh, you saw it,
Oh yeah, I watched it. That was great.
bro?
That's great, man.
I'm flexing on these guys, man. I'm flexing on them. What
Yeah,
other excuses could other people have?
yeah,
Like, come on, you can't even hold the ass. You got to do 100 touch-ups. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
That was epic.
Now,
Oh, sorry, but sub to finish answering the question though, and
yeah,
Richie was asking too. So there's how many God of Fires are there? There's God of Fire by Khalil, God of Fire by Don Carlos, but then you also have an anniversary series. Um, and actually, no, what is it called? Series B, I believe. There's an anniversary series. There is an anniversary series, and then there's another one coming out. So I think they're coming out at like their fifth line for the God of Fire. I've
interesting.
not tried all of them.
Wow, wow. They all sound fantastic.
Very high level Fuente though. You'll pay $30 a piece or more for them. I'll tell you that.
I think more because it was $30 a few years ago. Now they're just, you know. And I'm telling you, man, over this past year, I feel like Fuente went to the next level as far as like as Cuban prices went up so high. I think a lot of the guys on the Cuban side going, well, $100 for a Cuban's too much now, and then they're dipping into the Fuente, and
Oh
they,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? No, that's my opinion
Yeah.
on that.
I know for a fact that's happening in Europe. I've heard guys say, when the prices went up, because their prices were already crazy, right? Like a lot higher than ours. But since the price increase, now guys are smoking, what they would call New World cigars, Fuente, Padron, all the
Yeah,
shit that we're smoking.
yeah,
But that worries me a little bit, though. Hopefully, if they're smoking more, we're the biggest cigar consumer though in the world, maybe with the exception of China now.
yeah.
But the U.S. Fuente's already hard to get enough. I don't need more of them going to Europe.
Well, the bottom line is, this is what Fuente's going to have to do. Fuente has expanded in Nicaragua. Fuente's going to have to
Oh
start.
yeah, and they are.
They're going to have to start making some type of level of Anejos or Opus X or Padron level cigar from Nicaragua. They could do
Yeah,
it. You
they
know what I'm
are.
saying?
Yep.
No, they need.
I've seen the drawing for their factory that's going to go in Nicaragua. It looks like it looks awesome. It's beautiful.
And what's going to be good is this: when the new Nicaraguan Fuentes come out, whether they're mid or high or top tier or higher top tier like Opus level, when that comes out, then some of the demand on maybe the Dominican side will be lower, and we'll be able to get more. You know what I'm saying? Though, just like what happened with Don Carlos, like you said, they were hard to find, and now, not to say no one cares, but people have them, but they're not sucking them up by the box. If they
Right.
come in one day, you know.
Exactly.
Opus X is the only brand I know that when it comes in, it could be gone in less than a day at a shop if they don't limit it. Even if they do limit it to one per person, like it's very possible. The only other cigar that has that level of buzz, but it's not the same. But still, I gotta admit the buzz is the Andalusian Bull by LFD. When the Andalusian Bull comes in, guys go nuts for it, but it's a much smaller level. But because there's only one size and one blend of it, you know. But the bull,
I actually, speaking of that, I don't remember where I saw this though. I just saw a picture of somebody with like a cigar sampler. I don't know if it was on a website. I'd have to try to find it. But I was going to ask you, speaking of the Andalusian Bull, I saw a picture of another. I swear it was an Andalusian Bull. It had the same band on it and everything, but it was actually longer and skinnier. It was not the bull shape or whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. I don't know if they came out with a different size or maybe it's some type of anniversary. I don't know.
I don't know.
I was gonna look that up.
Bull's been out almost 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So let
Yeah, it might be a 10 year or something.
me try to catch him here. He said Bandoleros, good quality smoke. Which series do you prefer? The best series, A, C, or T? I don't remember which ones I had. I've had two different Bandoleros. I had the firecrackers, and then I had another one. It had a little green band, and I can't remember. It was phenomenal. And I'm trying to catch up here. Um, Bearded Dad said Don Carlos got a fire. In the past would say medium plus. But
Yeah.
Gio did something crazy here. Gio says I'm proposed. She said yes. Gio, Gio, what kind of comment is this, Gio? Are you already getting married in 1 week? Gio, is this real? Gio's being kind of quiet right now. Are you joking? Gio, did you get engaged? Gio, did you get engaged in 1 week? Are you going to have a Las Vegas wedding? I got to know. and then I'll give him a little slack because
Say it ain't so, Gio. Say it ain't so.
he's got to be head over heels over this girl. I mean, God bless. You know, I mean, he's jumping in.
God bless, but that's fucking quick. That's
That's
fucking
quick,
quick.
dude. You are jumping in. No background check. He's jumping in. Did you, Gio? Are you getting married, Gio? Well, congratulations, but I mean, holy shit! He, that that thing is faster than gasoline. Just boom. 1 week? Are you serious? Are you playing right now, Gio? Let me know. Because if you're playing, I'm gonna bust your balls. But if you're being serious, I mean, God bless you. I hope your first child's a masculine child. I wish you the best. But I mean, are you being serious? He's not even commenting right now. Where is this guy, Gio?
Cigars are cheaper.
Yeah, yeah.
True statement.
He's gonna have to sell all those to Opus X's for the ring.
Ooh, ooh, that's a scary thought.
Mm-hmm.
A scary thought. Gio, I'll make you a ring. Just send me those forbiddens. I'll send you a ring.
Yeah. Gio. So that's why Gio hasn't been around. Gio's getting married. Are we still having that raffle?
I think so.
Yeah, but Sacco's gonna outbid all of us.
No,
Sacco.
it's a raffle. There's no bidding allowed.
Yeah, listen. Sacco's gonna flex. Sacco's gonna flex. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna
Now
try.
Gio's quiet. What are you on? Are you on the fucking phone again, Gio?
I, I don't know what's going on with this guy. He's so. You know what? We got to give him a temporary bill of insanity, because when someone's in love that strong, they're not thinking You can't think in the right mind. You know what I'm saying? Though, bro, you got engaged in like 5 days. 5 days you got engaged. Gio, are you crazy? He's gone. Gio's gone. Gio's in Las Vegas right now, and Elvis is getting them married. He's already. Hey, God bless. Hey,
Yeah.
God bless. Rest in peace, Gio. Gio's gonna be getting rid of his apartment in Queens. He's gonna get a house out in Long Island so he can have a backyard for the kids. Hey, God bless. Where is he? Is he gone? What is this? Hold on, Gio. I gotta beg for your attention here. Are you part of the dome or you're not? Are you part of the dome? He traded his wrench for a wedding ring. He said, "Insane the membrane." He got him. It's like, remember with what's his name, Osama bin Laden. We got him. We got
Yeah.
him. We got him. Gio.
Gio. Gio. Yeah, I agree with Rich. God bless. I wish you the best of luck if you're not joking, but brother, that's quick. I mean,
Yeah. No one's hating on you, bro. It's just
not
we're
hating.
about you. You know
Not
what I'm saying?
hating.
You kind of want to know someone for a while before, at least a year before you get married, because they say you want to see him in all 4 seasons before you
Live
get.
live with her first. Live with her first.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
That's my advice.
Yeah.
You
But
don't have to get married. Live with her first.
I, I don't know. He's head over heels. He's head over heels. They don't know why this happened, because Gio quit smoking cigars. Remember when he had to take care of his teeth for the dentist, and then he stopped smoking cigars for 2 weeks. This is what happens: you quit tobacco, and a woman sneaks in.
Yeah.
And he's not even making a comment. I don't know what's going on here right now. Did he leave? Did he get offended? What is he mad? I don't even know anymore. I don't even. I can't figure it out. It is what it is. I mean, God bless Gio. I mean, really, God bless. I mean, but I don't know I don't know what to say. Yeah, board talk. He said, "Where's his wrench?" I don't know. Soft, gentle heat. I can't. Sacco always has words of wisdom.
Oh, Richie's frozen for me.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
I had to plug in my phone because I'm only down to 20% battery. So if the show ends, I plugged in my charger and my chargers both, they're going to fritz. These chargers for Apple, dude, I go through a charger a month. They're like
Yeah.
$10, $15 a month on a charger. These Apple chargers suck. They always break.
I have an Android phone for my personal phone, but I have an Apple phone for work. So I guess I get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. No, I'm happy with the product as far as the technology, but hold on. Where is Geo? This guy
Hey, Gio,
said,
what the fuck? You can't come in the fucking channel, drop an announcement like that, and then leave.
you know what? He's too good for us. He's too good for us. He's too good for us. That's right. That's okay.
Did we lose Richie? Can you guys still hear me? Richie's frozen for me. Yeah. Okay. So it's not just me. It's good. What's the rule on age? What do you mean? Should we like how long to age something? Oh, guest left. Richie left. What do you mean, Chewy?
You
How
are
long?
Geo.
There he is.
Geo, wherever you are, Geo, we love you, Geo. What's going on, bro? Are you okay, bro? You said I'm propose. You said I proposed. She said yes. I mean, this is like an old school thing. Like people back in the 1950s. They graduate high school and they get married the next week. Because things were different back then. Because you weren't. Said the father wasn't going to let you hang out alone unless you got married. You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Chewy, Chewy, to answer your question, I think it really depends on the cigar. I don't know if Richie would agree as far as like aging cigars. I think most cigars are ready to smoke without age, despite what some guys will tell you. But some guys like aging their sticks, and they do change over time. But I think it depends with cigar. Like Opus X age really well, you know.
Yeah.
Some cigars don't. Some cigars you age them for too long, you're going to lose too
You
much
know what
flavor.
cigars don't age well, in my opinion? Padron. Like you don't need to put 10 years or 5 years on a Padron like
No,
26. They're already ready
yeah,
out. You know what I'm saying though? Like the way it hits you. And
yeah,
here's the thing: when you in your mind, when you expect Padron, you're expecting lots of power, spice, lots of
yeah,
earth, lots of black coffee, darkness, right? So now if you
exactly.
age that and you lose that, it still might be a good cigar. But now, you know what I'm saying though? Like when you
Yeah.
smoke Padron, you want intensity. So I don't think it's necessary to age a Padron, maybe a year if you want, but to let a Padron sit for 10 years, I think is a waste because
Yeah.
the intent, you know what I'm saying though? Whereas an Opus just gets more complex, I think.
Yeah, Opus gets
You
more
know,
complex because Opus is, and that's what I was going to say. Like Opus is, it's already not a super strong cigar. It does have power and it does have strength, but it's not a Monty 1935. It's not a,
no,
it's not a Padron. So when you age those, the effects are quite different. Like Padron, I agree with Richie. That's why I don't personally like the Family Reserves are, phenomenal godlike cigars. But for my palate, I prefer the 64 and the 26 because the Family Reserve have 10 years of age on them. So you don't get the power and the strength in the Family Reserve that I feel you get with the 26 and the 64.
well, I think the 64 has more raw power. And I love the family reserves, and I still find them to be strong, but it's a different. It depends just what you talk about. The 85. Have you ever had the 85?
The 85 I have not.
Okay, that one you'll be surprised how strong that one is. That one is not. That one's not complex. That one is like if you took a 64 and put on steroids. The 85 to this day is still the strongest Padron I had, and I'm not gonna say I love this cigar. I mean, it's not bad. I'm saying is though, but like I just remember it being like black earth and like a bowl of jalapenos, and you're like, "Holy shit! Are you trying to kill me?" Like, you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
So I would say try that one out just so you can get a
Okay.
baseline of like the 85 is like it's not a luxury. That one's like once again being locked in a room with Mike Tyson. You're like, ah,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Like
I
that
guess
cigar.
too. Maybe I misspoke. They I guess strength. They do have strength still, but I think it's more the spice, right? That dies down in the family reserve.
They're more refined. I'll give
Yeah,
you
they're
that. Yeah,
more
yeah.
refined. I like the spicy, maybe a little dirty. You know what I'm talking about with the
Yeah,
Padron.
no, the 64, I feel like if you, 64 is like a working man luxury cigar. Like it's still lively. It's almost like a
Mhm.
Bruce Springsteen. He's a working man that made it. You know what I'm saying, though? The 26 is more refined, and I still prefer it over the 64, but I prefer the price of the 64.
Yeah.
So
Oh
I'm
yeah. Yeah.
meaning if you zoom out and say, could I still have a good night with the 64? Yeah. And I'll say myself,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
compared to the 26. So because 64, I could get a large Toro for $16 from my guy. That's really affordable. If I want to smoke a Toro 90th anniversary, $35. So do I still love the 90th? Yeah. Is it better? Yeah.
I think the
But
90th are a little cheaper than that, Rich. I think they're only like, at least around me, I paid just a little over $20 for the 90th.
not out here, bro. We're getting
Wow.
screwed. Not out. Even my guy, my 90th out here. It's I don't know. For some reason, the Midwest with Padron, with the 90th and like the 80th, they're not cheap. Like and this is even my guy with the good prices, but he, I just think maybe because of the supply and they don't get as much, and maybe the price. I don't know, but um, yeah, the
You are
90th,
talking about the ones that are in the tube, right? The tube.
yeah,
Yeah.
$35.
Wow.
That's a lot for that cigar. It's a lot, especially when he has Padrones for $16. I mean, Opus X for $16 and Anejos for 15, and VSG for 14. I'm like, I can't,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't.
It's hard. It's hard to justify that for that much, I would say.
Well, all about cigars for me is being happy and being content. So of course, this. So I can be content with Milano V Maduro for $11. I could be content for VSG for 14. So at that point, do I need to smoke anything else? No, in theory, but it depends on the price point. I mean, there's a lot of great cigars, but when you look at the price point of how, for example, if it is a $30 cigar compared to a $15 cigar, even if the $30 cigar is better, is it double better? And chances
Right.
are no. Meaning, if you
Right.
gave that $15 cigar 92 points out of 100, is the $30 cigar 180 points out of 100? You get up say it's not possible. So it's almost like a point of diminishing returns. Like it's better. It's like a Ferrari compared to a Corvette. The Ferrari's better, but how much better? I'll be flying in a Corvette and I'll save the 200 grand. You know what I'm saying? No, like I would be totally. When I had a Corvette, I was the happiest son of a bitch in the world, and I didn't need a. I could afford a Ferrari. I'm just saying, like even if I could afford a Ferrari, I would just buy a Corvette and be happy. Like you know what I'm saying? That's just me though. I don't know.
Yeah, I get you. I will say though, the 1920, so the 90th, those are actually part of the 1926 line. The 1926 90th and natural, for you guys that do like the drone that are out there. If you have not tried the 90th 26 natural, it's one of my favorite, I think, as far as Padron.
I never tried the natural.
Oh,
I got it. I'm
oh,
not gonna lie to you. I'm
oh.
kind of a Maduro snob with Padron for the most part, but I'll have to give that one a shot.
The
Uh,
Maduro was good. It was great, but oh, the
no,
26
I'm saying
90th natural.
I never tried that in natural. I have to try it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's in the white tube. The Maduros are in the red tube.
yeah. Interesting.
Gerald says, I'm shopping now. What's the flavor profile? Your normal Padron, it's got earth, it's spice, pepper, you know, that, I don't know,
But you
that,
have to smoke the Padron it's not like Padrones are some crazy complex blend, but it's the intensity while you're smoking it. Put it this way, Padron from the first puff, you're in the last third. Would you agree on that? Like every puff is like the last third in a Padron. So that's what I love about it, that it doesn't waste your time. Like you feel like you're smoking three cigars because the first puff, like I said, other cigars normally don't pick up to the last third, or they'll start strong or they go bored. I never started a Padron and it went flat. You know what I'm
right.
saying though? Never. Like Padron doesn't front load their cigars to be spicy for the first 5 minutes and then no. Every Padron from the first puff is the last third. So it's basically like if a whole game was in the fourth quarter. And I gotta respect that. I'm not saying they're better than Opus X because that's a different ball game. But if you want an intense cigar, I don't think you can go wrong with Padron.
Yeah, it's intense. In JLM, if some guys don't like retrohaling. If you do retrohale and you like retrohaling, you will get a fabulous sweet spice on that 90th Padron in natural. Sweet, spicy. If you like that type of flavor profile, highly recommend.
I got to say, this cigar has changed the profile, and they even advertise this cigar where they say on the website, and they always said this from the beginning, that you'll get many different profile changes. And I'm not sure the way they blended it, but right now the cigar is still about almost medium to full, but the nuttiness is still there. But it's very creamy right now, lots of vanilla, but then black pepper spice, and it's kind of taking you like on a journey. This cigar, and I highly recommend it. I think it's almost
Sounds
time to
good.
drop the ash. Um, I recommend you trying the Warfighter. Try their it's called the Garrison. They have two lines, Field and Garrison. The Garrison's like the better one, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
And um, the Garrison 50 cal. So it goes by bullets. There's a 5.56, a 7.62, and a 50 cal. The 50 cal is their dark Oscuro wrapper, and medium to full. It's not an ass kicker, but really good Maduro cigar. Kind of, I'd say put it like around a Liga number 9, that kind of profile, if you like
Yeah.
that. And I recommend everyone to try it out. I hope the channel tries them out and let me know what they think. But I reviewed their whole lineup a few years ago, and I had a great time with it. I bought some of my own, and I'm not gonna lie, they mailed me some too. They hit me up and like, oh, can we send you some stuff? I said sure, but I said I'm gonna be honest. If I don't like it, I'm gonna tell. They said no, be honest. And so it wasn't like they said we'll give you stuff, but say something good. They were straight shooters, and the Garrison 50 was my favorite of their core line. But this one's even better. But this is almost twice the price.
Big Firm says got the 90th Maduro, but have to smoke it yet. I'll have to pick up the
I'm
next one.
gonna, I'm
Yeah, the
gonna,
90th Maduro is great for. I mean, it is good. It's a very strong, peppery Maduro. I'll tell you that.
I gotta try it in action now because I respect your opinion. So,
I love the 80th Maduro, the 1926 80 in the perfecto shape.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah, I agree with you. Bearded Dad's talking about the 5.56 Garrison is really nice too. That one had like a really reddish brown wrapper. Do you ever have a cigar that has a really reddish brown wrapper? I really like the look of that. You know what I'm saying?
Like
Though
a Colorado or whatever you want to call it.
something
Yeah.
like that. But it almost looks like a leather jacket, like a reddish brown leather
Mhm.
jacket. I don't know. It was a nice looking wrapper.
Yeah. hmm To me, the Opus Lost City kind of have that reddish brown wrapper to them a little bit.
I gotta have the Lost City pretty soon, and I'm gonna do an ash test right now. And like I said, I don't know. It's not gonna hold like a Fuente, but we'll see.
I didn't bother doing one on this; it's too thin. I don't. I generally don't stack my ash though, not like Rich does.
Hey, look.
Yeah, that's that's good. Good construction.
Okay, I was wrong. It passed the first Fuente test. You got to give it to him. Got to give it to it. Got to give it to him.
Yeah,
You know, I could say. Oh, I dropped the phone. Son of a bitch. Hold on. I don't want to drop the ash.
yeah.
So
Take your time.
take. Here we go. You there?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Son of a bitch. I'm just gonna drop the ash now because I gotta adjust the phone. So let me drop the
Yeah.
ash. But that would have kept on going. I'm really impressed.
Yeah. Heck yeah. That startled me.
What happened?
Chewy said you startled him.
Scare you, bro. It scares me. How do you think it makes Richie feel when that phone drops? Like it's like the whole channel has an earthquake.
And my volume.
So I'll tell you what. At the drop of the ash, it was like initial rush because the ash protects the cherry. It's a lot
Yeah.
stronger now. It almost went to full strength. Like it had the suit. And that's sometimes when you drop the ash, some cigars stay the same. This one all of a sudden, like it got a lot more airflow and it really picked up.
What type of
It,
wrapper does that have? Do you know?
it's a Brazilian Matafina, but it's like a light
Oh,
brown. So it's
yeah,
interesting.
that's pretty light for a Brazilian Matafina. Interesting.
Yeah, no, dude, I can't recommend it enough. Like this cigar,
Sounds
in my
good.
opinion, I'd give it a solid 4.4, man. Like right now, the overall experience that's very high, because I know we've been smoking opus the past like 2 weeks, so like those are all hanging out in the 4.9 section. So everyone might think that I just hand that out lightly. I don't. So 4.4 is a solid cigar, and I would recommend them highly. Um, I mean, it's percent. What's nice is it's like getting a backdoor Placencia, like meaning um, if you're used to Placencia, but now you can get other blends that Placencia makes, but they don't make under their name in a sense. So it's kind of like if all of a sudden Padron started making, and Padron does it. I would love Padron to make cigars for another company and try them out, just different blends. Maybe something that they're not used to. But I think it would be a dead giveaway if Padron made a cigar for another brand. You'd be like, oh, this is a Padron 26.
Yeah, I
Padron,
think
if
definitely
anything,
be
you got to
wrong.
give the Padron. They're consistent, but I would say they're a little formulaic, meaning you know how there's so much range within Fuente? Patron doesn't do too much range. Like what kind of what I'm saying? It's like you know what you're getting into a Patron.
They use all sun grown tobacco in
Very heavy,
all their
very
fruit.
spicy. You know what I'm saying? But you could say the same thing about most um well, my father's and also AJ Fernandez. But I would take, generally speaking, my father over AJ Fernandez, and I would take generally Padron over my father. So so if they're also all heavy, dark, spicy cigars, what's the difference? Well, the blend. That's like saying all V8 cars are the same. No, they're not. So the whole blend of Padron, I think Padron is the king of dark, spicy cigars. That's my opinion. Um, people could take it or leave it, but if they weren't the king of Nicaragua, then look at the price points. If they weren't the king, they wouldn't be selling. The drones are not cheap, and they sell a lot. You know, I mean,
Oh yeah,
they don't move as fast as Opus, but you know,
yeah.
I think there's more supply too. You know, I think that Nicaragua it's a larger country, right? So maybe they have more tobacco.
I think Nicaragua is the top producing country for the U.S. for tobacco now,
Jared
if I'm
Lim
not
said
mistaken.
he's about to beg his wife to use the credit card.
He's like, I got to get some of them 90 naturals.
Interesting.
1926 90th natural. That's what you want. White tube.
The David of Colorado anniversary. He's got that red in his shade. I never had the Colorado anniversary, but I've had the regular Davidoff Colorado, and I really like. You ever try the Colorado by Davidoff?
Mm,
I think it's called Colorado Claro or no, Colorado something. Dude,
never
I like
had it.
that.
I've only ever had the Nicaragua and the late hour. Remember, I'm a kind of a Davidoff noob. I haven't smoked a lot of them.
Bro. The straight Colorado one that had the most cedar I ever had in a cigar, and it wasn't bad. It was like cedar and like sweet cream and like almost like mint on the end of it. Like it was so much. I don't know. It was so much wood. It was so much like cedar. It was like ridiculous. It felt like if you were like in like the wood section, like a store where they just sell like 2x4s. You know what I'm saying? Like just smell like tons of like wood. But it was a good cigar though, man. But you got to be in the mood for that. First time I
Yeah.
had that, I was in the Davidoff Lounge in Manhattan by the World Trade Center, and I was just sitting there, and I was with the mayor, and he's like, "You ever try a Claro?" I'm like, "No, I never tried the Colorado." I tried it. And I was just like, "Well, if you like cedar, you're gonna like this cigar." Holy shit! Like the whole cigar was like, "You like wood?" Because this cigar is wood, but in a good way. Like let's say if you bought a soap that was like a pine soap, if you're in that kind of mood to smell like pine, like a lumberjack.
I do like the pine tar soap by what is that, like Dr. Squatch or whatever it's called, the pine tar soap. It's pretty
Mhm.
damn good.
Yeah. He said Placencia also makes Five Vegas, but here's the thing though. Any brand, if they're making a range, it's got range. So just like with Fuente, there's curly heads. I'm not going to recommend curly heads, and I'm going to say this right now. I can't recommend Five Vegas. I've done it. Five Vegas, I've done it in the past, but Five Vegas is a very low tier cigar. Like it's Five Vegas is like I almost put it almost around yard cigar tobacco. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. So if you were at a barbecue and you didn't bring a stick, and some guy's like, "Hey, you have a cigar," and you're like, meaning you could smoke it, but I'm not holding the smoke on a Five Vegas. It's kind of like Five Vegas and Victor Sinclair. What I'm talking about. They're like very entry level long filler cigars. And they're not. I'm just not a fan for the price. You know what I'm saying? Because on Seabit I could get better cigars like General, like Cohiba or Monte Cristo for the same price. And why would I buy a Five Vegas? That's what I'm saying though. Yeah.
I know you told me to try a quorum, which is funny because I was in the shop today and I looked up on the shelf and they had the bundles. I don't know how much they were. I just couldn't do it. I'm like, fuck, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Bro, if you brought those bundles of cigars and if you put them in your collection with all those Opus X, I think you would explode. I think you would have human combustion.
I'd
I think
try one and then I'd try one and send the rest to you is what I would do.
definitely bearded dead. I'd rather have Punch over Five Vegas anytime. Punch is a really good brand. Punch is a gift. It's a good medium tier brand at a very low price, and they are very superior to Five Vegas. I can't, and most of the Punch blends, believe it or not, were designed by what's his name, uh, Padron's brother. So you know, how could you go wrong with that? I mean, Punch is a good Honduran brand. I think Honduran cigars don't get the respect they deserve. I think the most respectable Honduran company right now is Aladino, and Aladino has been getting more popular. But have you tried Aladino?
I've not. No, I have not.
You don't see them at the lounge.
Not near me. No. If I want Honduran, I'm probably gonna have to get like Camacho or you know I don't know what else is out there.
Or
I think
Punch.
some of Dunbarton that he uses Honduran in it, but if you're talking like all Honduran, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, or at least Honduran produced with mostly Honduran tobacco. Bro, you got to get into Aladino. Bro, Aladino's superior to Camacho. I can't
I'll
stress.
look for him. I've never seen him around here.
Try the regular Aladino and like a Corona. You're gonna love it. Try Aladino Corojo Reserve in a Corona. Holy shit! Right, fantastic cigar, strong and spicy. Um, and then uh, they actually make a Cameroon. I'm not sure if it's the first, but I think it is. I think it's the first Honduran Cameroon cigar. Like they use Cameroon seed in Honduran, and it was phenomenal. It was like a strong, spicy Cameroon. It was actually really nice.
Notorious, I'm not. Placencia's main operation is in Nicaragua. They might do stuff in Honduras. I don't know. I don't think. I think they were
Maybe.
mainly Nicaraguan.
Well, I don't know if they have fields in both or
They
factories.
might. They might.
I don't know. Well, they're very close to each other, believe it or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not a fan of the Domo. You know how I feel about the Domo.
I mean, I've
Uh,
definitely had some Honduran though. With Bense Aurora, or I don't know how to say his name, but is that what's his name?
a Row is the guy that owns Aladino.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing,
Didn't he was the original one that did Camacho though, right?
that's what I just told you. So
Yeah.
don't. So that's what I'm saying. If you want real Camacho, get the Aladino.
Yeah.
Most of the
I've
Aladino.
had the original. Remember I told you I smoked an original Camacho Corojo earlier this year that my buddy gave me. He
How was
still
that?
has some.
Is it
Oh, it
good?
was phenomenal. It was better than the one they do now with the big ass red band on it. And that's a good cigar if you like Corojo, like if you like a Corojo wrapper. It is a good, very strong, medium to full cigar. More probably full than anything. But the original was better, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
And it had
Um.
age on it, so I don't know. That probably changed it.
And if you like Corojo, I'm telling you, man, it's Honduran. The Punch Rare Corojo is a solid stick. You ever had that? I mean, it's a
I've not
medium
had the
tier stick.
punch. No.
Dude, you can get it for $8, man. And if you say lower your expectations to a good medium tier cigar, you'll enjoy it. I mean, it's
Oh
not going to be
yeah. I
you know,
got
it's
no
not going to be
problem
refined.
smoking medium tier cigars. No problem.
Well, especially for $8, you're like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
shit. So no, but Punch gives you a lot. Punch Red Corojo, uh, yeah, that's a solid stick. I would say try that. It's like a box press Corona. I like that size. Yeah. Yeah, he's saying that factories in both countries. That's interesting. Well, Nicaragua and Honduras are right next to each other. They're like almost
Yeah.
sister countries.
Okay. So yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I wasn't sure if they had stuff in Honduras. I knew Nicaragua.
Well, I think I got to do this because Board Talk has been really part of the channel, and he's talking a lot of good information. And I'm surprised he doesn't have a wrench. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the newest member of the club? Congratulations, Board Talk. The rules of the club: number one is respect. Number two is to hydrate and eat prunes. Three, tents are for camping. Four, there's no cigars in prison. Five, soft, gentle heat. Six, 451 is no good. And six, seven, the bad DVDs are on the bottom of the bag. And where's Sacco tonight? Sacco,
I seen him pop in early. He said he was here earlier.
he's probably maybe he's making more cigars, dude. How interesting that cigar shop in LA wanted to buy all of Sacco's cigars.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, you left yesterday. So Sacco said that the shop he goes to, he gave some samples to his cigar shop, and the guy said, "I want to buy all 500 of your cigars."
Oh
And
shit.
Sacco's like, "I don't want to sell my whole collection, the ones he just made." And he said, "I'll give you $10 a stick." So that's $5,000. But Sacco doesn't need the money, and
Yeah.
but that's so interesting that the guy wanted to buy him. So that means the guy probably was gonna flip him for like maybe $20.
Hmm.
And or maybe keep him for his own selection. Saying no, it's you know he makes some really good cigars. So
Yeah.
and you haven't tried his darker ones yet, right?
Oh, I have. I like I said, I tried the darker ones first. I tried the Connecticut finally today. The Connecticut shade. That was the last one I hadn't tried. So I tried the smaller, darker one, and then the bigger one. I think he said the smaller Corona size darker one he gave me had a San Andreas wrapper on it, and I think the bigger one was Ecuadorian.
Hold on, is that? I thought I saw Scary Mary in the distance. It was just two homeless people because now they walk around wearing blankets. That scares me.
Danny DeVito wants to know if you have any prosciutto.
So
There's something.
he said quality soap. Yeah, wash your balls. Yeah, that's for camping. Here's the thing: if the guys in my private chat, I saw these advertisements on Facebook today. Apparently, they're making beds now for BBWs. They're advertising these new beds that are made for extra strong women, and they had all these BBWs jumping on the bed, uh, jumping on the bed. I don't know how they got up there. There's probably like a rope, and they're making them jump because they can't jump. And dude, you had these 500-pound woman, and it said, "Not all beds are made the same. These beds are made for women with a little extra." Dude, 500 pounds is not a little extra, bro. Like this is not good. Like you can't. 500-pound woman is it's not good. Like it's not good. Like you can't shower in all the places. He said, "Much appreciated." Hint: the Carlos unboxing a few years back in time is me. The Carlos unboxing. Oh, gotcha. All right. Well, I mean, I didn't know that was you, brother. Yeah, Carlos. So you're from LA, right? I believe because Carlos sent cigars back in the day, but he hasn't been around as much in the alive. Yeah, it's okay, good. So Carlos is hanging out. Yeah, I think Carlos, you from LA, right? Yeah, back in the day, I think he was. I could be wrong. There's so many guys in the channel here. It's a good night. He said, Chewy said, your ads are tailored to you, Richie. I'm not into BBW, guys. I don't do it. All the women I've lived with are normal size, you know, normal sized women. You know what I'm saying though? That go to the gym. You know, no. I never dated a BBW. I didn't say I never spent a night with a BBW. I didn't say I never spent an hour with the BBW, but I regret that. And I made atonement for my sins. You know, bro, that girl ate a whole pound of prosciutto sliced in. 16.
Bro, I can't tell you. I know that video is no longer in the on here, but I can't tell you how hard I laughed when you describing her standing in front of all you could see was the light. I can't tell you how hard I laughed.
The fridge light and the doors behind her and the crinkling of the paper. You know what I'm saying though? And I remember I was in
You
the
said you
bed,
heard the paper and were like, "Oh shit," because you knew what was about to happen.
bro. I was in the bed and I just whatever. I'm all drained, if you know what I'm saying though. So
Yeah.
and I'm kind of like, after it was done, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I had her over again. I shouldn't have done that. Like you're feeling all shame. And that day I went to Uncle Giuseppe's. It's a store, and I bought a pound of prosciutto. I said slice it really thin, and it was $16.99 a pound. And this is like 7 years ago. A lot of money. And I'm in the bed. I'm sitting there, no clothes on, and I can't see the kitchen, but I can hear it through the door. And then I look over, but I hear the paper crinkling, and she goes, "Oh, I love prosciutto." And it's just the silhouette of Danny DeVito dropping. She was dropping it like a pelican, dropping slice, 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 just drop. Oh, 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 oh. I love, I love prosciutto. Oh yeah, and prosciutto loves you.
She ate all your pajamas.
That was. She was like a 300-pound taxi driver. It was. But you want to hear a crazy thing, man? And I just realized.
Oh,
When I went back to New York on my last trip, with my daughter, I went to my old neighborhood, and I was at the handy pantry, and it's like a deli, food store, and local place for milk and bread, eggs, that kind of thing, a little market. But I used to go there all the time as a kid. It was on the corner of my block where I lived.
yeah.
I went in there just to walk around, feel like the old times, I just, and I think I just bought like a iced tea. And I remember there was a woman there with a kid, and the guy behind the counter, I guess, was a husband because she's talking to him, but she was on the other side as a customer, and like they were just talking. I could tell they're together. And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and I couldn't place it, but that was the Penguin girl, but she dropped weight. You know what I'm saying?
No,
It was her. It was her.
no.
It was her. I'm not gonna use her name. It was her.
Did she have, were her arms both filled with prosciutto? Like, did she have under each arm?
But my point is, her husband was the guy slicing the meat behind the counter. I'm not even joking. Like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So I guess she settled down and had a kid with the guy who's the manager of the meat department. So that's
Uh,
she swung big.
oh, you slice prosciutto? Oh, I'll take
Oh my god!
5 pounds of prosciutto.
You know what mommy likes? This guy stuffing the prosciutto in his pockets the other night,
Oh my god.
bro, bro.
The
She's
other
she.
the other story that you told that cracked me up was the steak girl. Like, oh, what is that steak? Like, oh no, I'm not even eating this. I'm not eating this. I'm meal
That,
prepping.
that's the same girl. That was the first night she was there. That's the prosciutto girl. So the steak girl, I got away with it. But then the next time I had her over, she knew better. She, because she said afterwards, she says, "Man, I'm hungry." I said, "Nah, I gotta go to bed. I get up early. I'm a union worker. I get up at 5 o'clock." So she left. As soon as she left, I had a porterhouse on the grill on the stove, and I'm making sides, salad, making everything. And all of a sudden, I hear a bang on my door, and I'm like, I open the door, and she just walks right in. She walked right in. She goes, "Is that steak?" Because she smelled it. I'm like, nah. I said, "I'm meal prepping." I said, "It's not for tonight." I said, "I'm prepping." I said, "I'm training right now." Back then, I was training more. I said, "That's my breakfast. For work. I gotta have my protein." She goes, "Oh, I love steak," and I'm like, "No, no, it's not for tonight. I'm not even eating it, please." So, I. She
I'm
figured.
sure you enjoyed the steak after she left, though.
Oh yeah, but I was scared. I was scared she was gonna come back to the window.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not even eating. I'm meal prepping. Oh.
I'm meal prepping the steak.
This is my lunch for tomorrow.
It's a, who eats like a day old porterhouse? I mean, I don't know.
You're telling me you're grilling a fucking porterhouse and you're not going to eat it?
It was like 11 o'clock at night.
Oh,
Dude,
that's
when I was
great.
a bachelor, man, yeah, I love steak. It was easy. Throw the steak, and steak was cheap back then. You can get
What
a
did
good
Bearded
steak.
Dad say? He
What?
says, my favorite story was the guy trying to hook up with you in the Uber. I don't think I've heard that one.
Oh my god. Well, how many guys, bro? I got hit on a lot by girls and guys. This the one guy. Okay, one guy. I pick him up at. Okay, I'm gonna change the story for legal reasons. So I was watching a movie, and the taxi drivers get he picks up a guy by the Fire Island ferries. Now the ferries, most of them from the ferries are, they're going to the Fire Island for a certain group. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
So long story short, um, the guy gets in the car, and I said, "Oh, did you have a good time at the beach? Nice day." Because he had a sunburn, he had his cooler. I said, "Did you have a good time?" "Oh yeah, I had a great time." I said, "Oh, what'd you do?" She goes, "Oh, I blew all my friends." And I looked at him. I go, "You're a really good friend." You know what I'm saying? I said, "I don't have any friends that would do that for me." You know. And I said, "That's a great
Nor would I
friend."
want any of my friends to do that to me.
No, I know. Of course you don't. But
Yeah.
that's still a level of friendship me and you have never known. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Imagine you're hanging out with the guy smoking Opus X, and then some guy Johnny's like, "You know what? Everyone's getting one." You're like, "Ah, all right." I know, but it's very generous. If
That's
anything,
the
it's very.
Ricky face. Mm,
You
I can't do it. But
you
yeah.
do the decorum face.
Yeah.
It's a very generous offer. So I said, "Everyone." I said, "How many friends?" "Oh, there was 5 of them." And I said, "Well, good for you, right?" So then he's like, "Well, why don't you pull over? Let's make it 6." And I was like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm good." He's like, "Go right over here. That's a good spot. No one will see. It's a lot of woods." And I'm driving like to the woods, and I'm like, "No, no, I'm good." And then we get to the restaurant. He's going to a restaurant, and he gets out the car, and he gets right here. It's this car. He gets right to my window, and he leans in my window, and he goes, "Listen, this is a big parking lot. It's going to be dark. We could go over there. Nobody will know. Nobody." And I was like, "Listen, I'll know and God will know." I said, "That's not for me." I said, "All due respect, you do what you want to do." But I said, "That's not for me." He's like, "Well, have you ever tried it?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "How do you know?" I said, "I know. I know. I don't want to do it." He goes, "All right, your loss." And he left, bro.
Yeah, I'll consider it my loss all day long. Thank you.
He's, bro, the devil comes in many forms, you know?
He was pushy. Holy shit. Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say he sounded pretty pushy. He was pretty determined.
He was a
He wanted
He was a Harvey Weinstein. But then
he
the
took
other one was
the Richie and me is the Richie and you. He took that to a different meaning.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like the other one was like a 22-year-old Asian guy, right? Like Thailand or Vietnamese, very petite. He got in the car, and I picked up at his house. It was Uber driving, and he gets in the car, and he's like, "Okay, we're going to a hotel." I'm like, "All right." So I drive him to a hotel, and he's in the hotel for like 15 minutes. I don't know what he's doing, right? And then he comes back in the car, and I'm like, "All right, where are we going to now?" And he's like, "Well, let's go back to my place." All right. So he puts in the address. You go back to his place, driving him home. And he's like, "So you're a big, strong guy." And I'm like, "Oh, here we go." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You ever do any construction?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You ever do any plumbing?" I'm like, "Yeah, a little bit." He's like, "Because I have a leaky pipe in my bedroom. I really want you to see." And I'm like, "Hmm."
No, no, no. I can't
Yeah,
tell you how much
I
I don't want to see your leaky pipe.
yeah, no, he's like, I was like, "I don't think I can help you." He's like, "No, it's not even that hard." He's like, You'll be in and out." He goes, "Why don't you come on in and I'll show you exactly where it is. And, it's not that big of a deal." I was like, "I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it." connecting. And then he says, well, if you won't do any plumbing work, he goes, maybe you want to hang out with my girlfriend. And I said, well, who's your girlfriend? I was a single guy. So who's your girlfriend? He goes, hold on. And he shows me his picture on his phone. And it's a smoking hot Asian woman, like in a position and in like lingerie. And he's like, oh, you want me to introduce you to her? And I'm looking at the picture. I go, hey, I mean, she's not bad. And he grabs my arm. He goes, that's me, silly boy. I could be that for you tonight. And I was like, no, 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 no.
No.
Apparently he dresses up too. And the picture fooled me. I said, no, I can't. And he goes, I knew you were, used the 451 name. I'm not going to say it. He goes, I knew you were a little bit. He goes, you're just a little bit. I knew it. I said, I'm not a little bit like that. He goes, but yeah. He goes, I said, you tricked me. I thought it was a woman. You tricked me. He goes, I knew you were a little bit. I knew you were. And the night didn't end there. And then he said, okay, if you're not going to come home with me, he goes, I got to get something tonight. So where do you want to go now? He goes, hold on. He makes a phone call. He hangs up. He goes, okay, we're going to this house. We drive to this house. And as we're driving to this house, I go, so where are we going now? And he goes, oh, we're going to my boyfriend's house. I said, okay. So you go to your boyfriend's house? Where we pick up your boyfriend? He goes, no. I said, so who are we picking up at your boyfriend's house? He goes, my boyfriend's brother. I said, your boyfriend's brother is 4512? And he said, no. I said, so then what are you going to do with your boyfriend's brother? This is what he said. He goes, well, my boyfriend's brother, whenever he's fighting with his girlfriend, we hang out and you know.
Mm.
And I'm like, wait, so he's a regular guy, but he still lets you do that? She goes, so we pick up this guy, right? So picture this guy. This guy gets in the car and this guy has a girlfriend, and he looks so awkward because he knows that I know his secret that he has a girlfriend,
Yeah.
but he's just it's kind of like when your wife's cooking dinner, but you stop for McDonald's on the way home and you feel guilty. You know what I'm saying though? And
Yeah.
I drove him back to his house, and the guy just like gave you a look like, "Don't say anything," and I was just like, "Have a good night."
Just get the fuck out of my car.
Yeah, and I said to him before, I said, "Does your boyfriend know that you're doing that with his brother?" And he goes, "Oh no." And then he said, "Oh," he goes, "I'm working on his dad too." And I was just like, "Bruh, bruh, this guy is wiping out the whole family. The whole family, the whole family. I hope they're on prep because that whole family's gonna get, you know what."
This guy's a piece of work. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought the guy, at his desk was,
bro, that guy's the hardest working man in showbiz. It's bro,
Five Guys is supposed to be a restaurant.
bro, that guy went from pole to pole, man. That guy, you got to give it to him, man. But that's why you see all these commercials, for all those people getting all these crazy diseases because it's like you're living that kind of life, like no questions asked, like nah, nah. So I didn't fall for the temptation.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
It wasn't even, it wasn't even tempting. I was like, nah.
Yeah, no.
It was like offering a steak to a vegetarian. They're like, that's gross.
Yeah,
No,
no.
meat is murder. Meat is murder. And that's a true story, man. That's a true story. I mean, there was so many 451 stories. I mean, it's unbelievable. Um, how many times? Um, the other one, I pick up a guy, same town at a bar, and he gets in the car. I'm like, okay, where are we going? Are you driving you home? He's like, yeah. And then he goes, oh my goodness, you work out? And he starts grabbing my shoulders and my arms, and I'm like, please, please, don't touch me. He's like, no, oh my God, you're so strong. And I'm like, please. And I pulled over. I'm like, listen, you have to stop touching me. Like, you can't do that, all right?
Yeah.
He's okay. And I start driving, and then he does it again. He goes, I can't stop. I can't resist. And he's just rubbing. I'm like, please stop. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. Like, like, see, what's funny? it's not funny, but if it was the other way around, let's just say if that was um, the driver doing that to a female, you'd be arrested on the spot.
Yeah, for sure.
You know. But I didn't even want to even call the cops because you're a big grown man, and they're like, "Oh, really? What did he do next? Oh, he was rubbing my bicep. Oh yeah, you know,
I probably would have punched that guy.
you know." Then you lose your job. You know,
Well,
the best
yeah, no, but
the best you could have do is just you could file a complaint. But
it's
even
like,
then, in that situation, you look like a hate crime. You know what I'm saying? Though, so it's
you asked him to stop, and I assume you had a camera in the car, right?
no, I didn't have a camera, but
Oh, okay.
I didn't take it as a threat. It's not like I was scared for my life. Like I could have said if I was a female driver, like, oh my god, but like at the end of the day, if the guy really tried to get pushed, he's not gonna have his way with me. So I wasn't worried about it. You know what I'm saying? No, but it's awkward. It's awkward.
Yeah, that's definitely awkward.
Mhm. Awkward. 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 Not tempting at all. I'm looking at the moon right now. The moon is almost full moon, and it's like orange. Do you see the moon right now? Holy cow!
I'm inside. I can't see it from where I'm at. I don't know.
Oh,
It's pretty cloudy though too.
oh yeah, man, dude, the moon is like orange. It's kind of a scary looking moon. But yeah, man, that's there's so many stories, man. I mean, there was good stories too. But it is. I'm not gonna go into that.
Yeah,
It is what it is. You know. In some ways, I miss those nights as far as the fun stuff. Um, but it's just crazy stuff. Either way, free Geo. What's going on with Geo? Is Geo gone? I don't understand. So Geo says he got engaged and then he disappears.
maybe he's getting married. Maybe he's eloping.
Yeah, but why would he say that at least? Or did he get mad because we didn't respond? Because I saw the comment, but we were talking about the what's the Opus X, the rare one you were talking about, with the Don Carlos, what's that brand? Prometheus. So you were talking about the Prometheus. So I wanted to finish that, and then I went back to it. So maybe he's mad that I didn't acknowledge it right away. I don't know, dude. There's so many comments. I can only, I can't just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's mad. I don't know. But he made like two comments and he left.
We lost Geo.
He's not the same. He's changed. What happened? What happened? I don't know. And what's going on with Purple Goat? Purple Goat's going to bed early now.
I don't know if I saw him tonight.
He says he's been going to bed early.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted to ask him for wedding advice.
I
Bruh, is he really getting married that fast?
don't know.
I mean, I wish him the best, but that's in this day and age, that's really fast. You know what I'm saying, though? It's
Yeah.
yeah, big firm. I think I don't know. He said he got engaged. Yeah, he dropped the Chewy and he left. Yeah, no one's seen Geo. We don't know what happened to Geo. Yeah, I don't know. So all I can say is, if you're driving around Long Island and an Uber driver, be careful. Be careful.
Right.
Yeah, plan on just saying hey, and how it's almost been. That's what happens. Opus bachelor party.
That Opus bachelor party. There you go.
I gotta say, man, this one cigar, I got 2 hours out of it. It's really impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, that little skinny one, what is it? I've been on it about an hour and a half I got out of that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's yeah. So I'd recommend this cigar, man. If everyone out there, shout out to Warfighter Tobacco, and check out the brand. Try the Garrison line or their the V line. Um, it's Placencia, so it's great tobacco, and
Which one is that, Rich? You smoked the Warfighter what?
the Victory, the V,
The Victory.
or as Antonio would say, 5.
The five. Yeah.
The V is 5. You know,
Every time I see those, I think about that now.
yeah. When I before I checked out a local pawn shop before. I just like to see what if they have anything in that interests me. And sometimes it's all about the timing. You find stuff that is way cheaper than it should be, and that's a better deal for you. They had a old school Smith and Wesson, all meant to all the third gens, and the model 3914, and it was mint condition in the original box from like either late 80s or early 90s, probably late 80s. And it came with like 5 original mags. And those magazines online, because they don't make them no more, people will sell them for like $80 a pop because, unless you have to buy like aftermarkets, which, nobody cares about. They want the original factory mags because they have the name on them and they're more reliable. Came with five, I think 4 or 5 of those mags, and and they had it for only 325. And I was like, and I found like one little scratch on it. I'm like, hey, you think you could do anything? She's like, yeah, we'll do it for 300. And I'm like, all right, I gave her $30 for the deposit. I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up over the weekend. And like sometimes you find stuff like where that other person must have got really lowballed because the value of that thing is right now is more like 550. With all those mags, forget about it. So, but I like collecting the third gen Smiths. Smith and Wesson peaked in the 90s, like 80s and 90s. They're third generation. I'll send you pictures of what it is. But they had the best triggers back then. And then once Smith and Wesson went to like the modern polymer stuff, like similar to Glocks, those work great, and and they're cheaper and they're reliable, and you don't have to clean them as much. But they don't have as good triggers. They're not as accurate, and when you shoot them, they're not the same. I just prefer shooting metal guns at the range. And um, is it it's like riding a Harley or a Japanese bike. You know what I'm saying? Though it's like,
Yeah.
do you ride bikes?
I growing up, of course, I rode plenty of four wheelers, dirt bikes, but I don't own a motorcycle. No, I always wanted one.
Don't. You're married, you got children, and you're
Yeah,
about to enjoy your pension in a couple of years. You don't want to
yeah,
break your back. I know so many guys, they started riding late back in New York, and they either get in an accident. My neighbor, he broke his back and his neck, and then he was never right after that. You know what I'm saying, though? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
what I'm
Excuse
saying, though?
me.
It's not like the roads are safe anymore. You know what I'm saying? People are so distracted
Oh
driving
yeah.
on their TikTok and everything, or everyone else is doing fentanyl and they don't even have a driver's license or insurance. So imagine you get hit on a motorcycle on a hit and run, and even if they catch the guy, what are you going to get? What are you going to sue him? You know,
That's a good point. That's probably one of the big things that's held me back. People are, yeah, a lot of crazy drivers out there.
and not insured, bro, not insured. So if
Yeah,
you get into an accident not with a non-insured driver, your insurance is, you know what I'm saying? Though they're going to screw. You're never going to be, dude. It's not. You're never going to be right. And
right.
there's no good motorcycle accident. There's no good like, oh, maybe you just broke your leg. Like dude, I could tell you like 5 people I knew that died in New York in motorcycle accidents. Died. You know what
I
I'm saying?
believe it.
The one guy was a union worker, and he was an older guy, like 50 years old, and I was like 27. And I still have his phone number. It makes me sad every time I look at my contact list. And he was
Mhm.
my favorite guy on the job site. He had a 4-door Dodge Durango, and just like the best guy to work with. And he would always talk to the young guys. Hey, kid, let me show you something. He would teach you the most shit, and he was never an asshole about it. The bending pipe and threading pipe, and running water. But he just taught you all the tricks, and you're like, his experience level was profound. And he
Yeah.
always like would be laughing, like so you could, like, when you work with someone, if you say something and they're just an asshole, this guy you could say something, it's like, oh really? He just always had like a fun attitude. And then one day Monday morning, we come in. Oh, did you hear about Bob? What? Oh, he died, and his wife lost her foot, and it wasn't even his fault.
Mm.
He was driving, and a Toyota Prius made like an illegal turn, and that was it. You know,
Damn.
he died on impact, and she lost her foot. And I remember at the funeral, the wife was in the front there with no foot, on a lot of pain medication. And I'm pretty sure it was a closed casket. What? He says, and he was such a good dude. You know what I'm saying though? Like, but he wanted to go for a ride with his wife in a Harley. He wasn't even drunk, and it wasn't even his fault. And that's what I'm saying. It does that. You could be the best rider in the world, and
Oh
imagine
yeah.
on a Toyota Prius.
Yeah. Yeah. My kids are. Well, my son drives. He's got his license, and my daughter's learning. But that's what I tell him. I said, the biggest thing, you can be the best driver in the world. It's everybody else that you have to look out for.
And nighttime's the worst.
Yep.
Nothing happens at nighttime. Nighttime, much higher chances of drunk drivers, illegal drivers with no insurance. You know what I'm saying though, and people on drugs. And not saying it's safe during the day either, but it's more. being that I drove at night for 3 years in Uber, nighttime, man, is so dangerous. Nothing good happens. I can't stress it enough, man. I mean, it's dangerous.
Agreed.
You ever been to car wreck?
Oh yeah, nothing too serious, thank God, knock on wood, but yeah. I mean, little fender benders and stuff. Um I don't think it weren't my fault. I got rear end or no, I got rear-ended once and then lady ran a stop sign on me another time and I kind of scraped the side of her car. And that it was probably on me. I probably should have looked better and made sure she stopped, but it was I had the right of way, so
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the worst car accident I've been in was in my Corvette, and that wasn't even my fault. And I only had my Corvette 6 weeks. And
wow.
I was driving somewhere, and I was with a girl. I didn't have a girlfriend at the time, but she was just one of the girlies I hung out with. And I had to drive her home because then I had to pick up my kid. And but I decided I was gonna go pick up my kid first, then drive her home. As we're driving her home, she goes to me, we're at a red light, and she goes, "How are you going to get your kid?" I said, "Well, we're going to go pick her up and then I'll drive you home." She goes, "You're in a Corvette. It's two-seater." I go, "Oh, shit." I can't put my kid in the car. So I realized I had to go back to my grandma. I would keep the Corvette at my grandma's house in the garage. But if I picked up the Corvette, then I left the truck on the street at her house, right? So, anyways, I realized we had to go back to my grandma's house and swap cars. So I turned around, and after I turned around, I'm going about a mile down the road, and this guy, it was a two-lane road and two-lane road coming here, and there's only paint in the middle. But Middle Country Road is a busy road. It's one of the most fatalities in America. Middle Country Road is so much volume, but there's a lot of businesses along the whole way, so people are always turning in and out of people. So this guy, I'm going straight. And I'm in. There's two lanes, but I'm in the left lane going straight, and this guy pulls out and he stops right in front of me because there's too many cars coming in. You know what I'm saying though? So he
Yeah.
fucked up. So I swerved to the right to try to go around him, but my driver's side hit his like rear tire and like crumpled. The Corvette was totaled,
Yeah.
and I was wearing my seatbelt. And I stopped my like I'm strong, so I held myself in the chair. By my I remember my wrist being so like hurting, like pushing myself on the impact. But my whole body after the initial impact, like my ass went out of my chair and my head went right into the pillar that had like the T top. You know what I'm saying? No, it's like a steel pillar.
Oh
And
damn.
my head stopped me. I thank God it wasn't the glass. I could have went through the window. Anyways,
Yeah.
it fucked me up, man. Like I left in an ambulance and I had the neck brace on, but they're like, oh, nothing broke, thank God. But it definitely is definitely why I have more issues on my neck. It didn't help. You know what I'm saying though? And I had that Corvette, and then the next day, Geico came to my house and they gave me a $10,000 check. I had full collision, thank God.
Yeah.
Um, but that was sad, man, losing that car.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say when you were talking about that, I know Corvettes, they got that delicate frame. I figured you were gonna say it got totaled.
Well, they said to fix it, one, it would never be right. But to fix it would cost so much. It was a '94. It was a classic. It was a 20-year-old car, but it was garage kept. Not even garage. I'm sorry. It was a trailer kept. They actually had
Yeah, I
like a.
think you posted a picture of it in our chat, I think. It
Mhm.
was white, right?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I picked it with my cousin. But I picked up that Corvette for like 6,700 cash, and
Oh wow.
and then I put like new tie rods, new brakes, new rotors. I had them just tune everything up, new spark. Everything was that thing had exactly 100,000 miles on it, but the woman had a logbook. She only put 5,000 miles on it a year, and every year she had it like tuned up from the factory. So this thing was in pristine. I had people when I go to gas stations, they would just come up to me and say, "How much you want for that vet?" And I was like, "Nah, not for sale," because it looked like it just came off the showroom. Because she
Yeah.
had it in a watertight trailer, like so it never spent the day out in the street, like in the rain or in the snow. Like it was kept nice, man. I put four-way amplifiers. I had LED lighting that would change with the bass, in the car. It was, dude, it was nice, man. I was so sad when I lost that car, man. I only had it 6 weeks, and it wasn't even my fault. I would have still had that thing, man. That thing, I'm not gonna say the fastest I got it up to, but I got it up to 58. But you could picture put a different number maybe in front of it or behind it, 58.
Mhm.
And I remember let going of the gas and going, that's fast enough. And I was like, it was a 3-digit number. You could figure that, bro. That's
Yeah, I
fast,
got you.
bro. And it could have kept on going. I was like, nah, that's good. And it was automatic. And like people talk about automatic. Yeah, bro. You're in Long Island or New York City. You don't want a manual. The automatic Corvettes are fast enough. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
There's probably a lot of stop and go, right? I mean, you're in that area, you're in a congested area.
the only time you could do it is at nighttime or holiday. So after eight
Yeah.
o'clock, yeah, after 8 o'clock in Long Island, you could be in Manhattan in 40 minutes. You know what I'm saying? No, but you have to go wait for nighttime. You know what I'm saying? No,
Mhm.
but you're gonna get pulled over a lot in a car like that. Because you're asking.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
um, dude, that was the fastest I ever got it, and man, that car. I was sad. It was an old man, 80 years old, 80 years old. I was screaming, and they were taking me on the ambulance, and I was like, "This fucking guy shouldn't even have a license." He was 80 years old, man.
Damn.
It was a Mitsubishi like Galant, like the full size 4-door car. That Corvette just crumpled,
Oh
crumpled,
yeah, I bet.
crumpled.
Well,
But
Rich, I hate to say it, I got about 5% left on my phone here.
yeah, it's time for me to go too, man. My cigar's done, and I want to say to everyone here, I hear the best. I'm glad everyone came out to hang out with Richie. The Richie and me is the Richie and you. Watch out for parking lots in Long Island. You don't want to get caught up in that nonsense. And just say no. Don't do plumbing work at nighttime in bedrooms. Watch out for fake, people that pretend to be something they're not. I can't stress it enough, guys. So, Jeremy, always a pleasure having you on the show. Always a great night. And thank you very much, Bearded Dad, for the cigar. So we'll see you guys around. You guys stay fresh and stay richy, all right?
God bless. See you, boys.
Take it easy, everyone. Good night.
See you, Rich. Thanks for having me.
You got it, bro. Good night.
Bye.